Hey guys, this movie wears a slasher's mask, but what's underneath is way darker than kills and body counts. Watch this.
Hey guys, tonight we watched Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now this is a reimagining of the 1984 film, not a remake for the 21st century. Same skeleton, new muscles, new organs, whole new heartbeat. After witnessing his parents' brutal murder on Christmas Eve, Billy transforms into a killer Santa, delivering a yearly spree of calculated, chilling violence. This year, his blood-soaked mission collides with love, as a young woman challenges him to confront his own darkness. Release date is December 12th, 2025. It's written and directed by Mike P. Nelson. It stars Rowan Campbell, Ruby Modine, and the voice of Mark Atchison. Mark is in the movie a little bit, but his voice is throughout the whole film. The genre is Christmas slasher film. We watched it in the theater, and the runtime is 1 hour, 37 minutes. Story and pacing. Story was very easy to follow. It kept my interest from beginning to end. It dragged on occasion, but not long enough for me to be bored or to check my phone. It felt a little rushed sometimes during suspenseful moments. I'll get into that. Characters and performance. The characters were believable, but we only got some backstory on Billy, the main character. I would have liked to have a little bit more about his psycho girlfriend, Pam.
She was psycho.
Billy did good when being interviewed by police as an idiot. He's a good actor. He was good in Halloween Ends, but Halloween Ends sucked.
I was actually happy to see him in this movie because whenever I saw him in Halloween Ends, I was kind of looking forward to seeing him in some more things.
Yeah, totally.
So whenever I saw him in this, I was like, he looks familiar. Oh my gosh. And he told me he was in Halloween Ends. I was like, finally, I was able to see him in acting some more.
Yeah.
And I hope to see him in some more things as well after this.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him in an indie film because he's
a good actor.
Yeah. The main character, Billy, he hears a voice in his head that he argues with, but it guides him like a father figure. He clearly appears to have schizophrenia, but that's later explained in the film. Visuals and style. The lighting was good to show when he was struggling with his inner demon at times. Like when he had to be Santa with the kids, you know, it had like that red light on his face.
Yeah, it was really good with the lighting. So normal, you just see him like the normal lighting, just like right now when you see Living Life, yeah. And then whenever he starts to see that demon in his head, it turns red. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. There's some really epic kills in this film with a good amount of gore. I thought that was awesome. I looked down at my phone to take notes, and she goes, "Oh, did you see the intestines?" And I was like, "No." So
it was an epic slasher film.
Yeah. We asked some people, like, what'd you think of the film? And this one lady was like, it was awesome. And the one guy was like, I laughed a lot. And I was just like, he goes, I don't know what that says about me. And we were just like, I think he hears a voice in his head. Sound and music. She actually looked over at me and she goes, this music's really good. The music is classic horror, but it's a little more eerie at times than normal. And it definitely intensified the immersion. Themes and message. The film theme definitely showed how deep emotional wounds can twist a person's sense of justice and identity. Emotional reactions. Emotions we experience were tension, shock, fear, joy, and a laugh or two.
There were times, because I have my blanket whenever I go into the theater, there were times where I even had my blanket up to my mouth because I was like, there was so much suspense in that part of the film because I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen right now? Are these people going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? It was a good film.
Yeah. Direction and writing. I wrote in my notes that it was an enjoyable amount of surprise and predictability. And as I was writing that, it was almost the end. And then I didn't see the end coming and I was mad at myself for it. As far as standout scenes, there's a scene where he thinks he's going to a party to kill one specific person. And it turns out to be like a congregation of racists. And he enjoys it a lot. And he takes them all out. And it's epic.
That's probably the most epic scene of the entire film. Because it's like, for such a good slasher film, it was just slasher. It was just slash.
He has this thing like where he has to kill a person. It's like explained. But if he doesn't kill them, if he has to choose the person to die. And if he doesn't, he believes that somebody good will die. So he has to pick a naughty person to die because he's, you know, in his crazy mind, when he puts on the Santa suit, he gets to choose who's naughty or nice. And so when he kills a naughty person, then he prevents someone who's nice from being killed. And so he picks out one person during the Advent calendar and is like, okay, I got to take out a naughty person. And so he goes to this party and he's like, all right, I'm taking out a naughty person. And he shows up and there's like swastikas everywhere. And he's like, locks the door and he's like, I'm taking them all out. He keeps an Advent calendar of the blood of his victims. And I thought that was a nice touch. So instead of like opening it up and pulling out a little chocolate, he opens it up and he like takes their blood and pushes it into the calendar. I thought that was neat. Overall impact, one thing it did really well was unify Billy's trauma into a single unforgettable emotional rupture. In the 84 version, it doesn't do that. There's several different things. And this one, on the same day, several things happen that trigger who he is. One thing that could have been better is it didn't always give enough space to feel the fear before moving on. Because the film is so focused on the psychological cohesion and theme, it sometimes rushed past moments that could have lingered longer or cut away from the tension before it fully suffocated. So it cost the film less sustained suspense between major beats or fewer quiet moments where the audience could have sit in discomfort. So some of the kills feel strong but emotionally brief. Movies I would compare it to would be Black Christmas from 1974. It uses Christmas as emotional contrast, not a gimmick. Focuses on dread and atmosphere over body count, and treats trauma as something that lingers rather than explodes.
Yeah, this movie really focuses on trauma.
As well as 1980's Christmas Evil, because it centers on a broken man shaped by childhood trauma, blurs the line between sympathy and horror, and treats Santa imagery as a moral framework, not just a costume. Christmas Evil is probably the closest spiritual cousin to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Final thoughts. What was your favorite element?
My favorite element, which I won't really give anything away, but the ending, it was my most favorite part. It was crazy.
We can't even talk about it.
Yeah, I can't say anything. I really, really recommend seeing this movie, just for the ending especially. It was very well done. It was very well done.
Mine is when all the racists get destroyed. So that was fun.
Like we said, for the slasher movie, that was probably the best scene.
It's funny when they pick a person, like, I'm just making up this name, but it'll say like Joe, and then it'll say like, it'll go red screen, and then it'll say like kill Joe. Like that's the goal of the day. For like the Advent calendar is kill Joe.
So like day 2, it'll say like kill Joe.
But this one had like a person's name. Like it said kill Joe and then it was like kill Nazis. So like it was like kill them all. So I thought that was cool. Least favorite element. There really wasn't anything bad about this film except some parts that dragged on.
There wasn't too many though.
No, there really wasn't. And this kind of goes into that. The film wasn't rated, which means that they didn't have to submit to the MPA. It used to be the MPAA. But that's really good because if you don't have to submit to it, then you don't have to worry about them potentially coming back and saying, well, it was too gory, there was too much violence, there's too much this, too much that. So they didn't have to cut anything that they didn't want. They got exactly the film they wanted. They didn't have to risk an NC-17 rating. They didn't have to compromise anything. And this is common with indie and prestige horror movies. Also, unrated film is an excellent marketing tactic for horror movies. And it saves them money because you have to pay to get your film rated. Off to the recommendation.
All right, so now for the recommendation, we either say see it in theaters, rent it whenever it's available, or stream it on one of your platforms. But for this one, since it is an indie film and we're really big on those and wanting to, of course, support them.
And it was a good movie.
And it was actually a very good movie. We're going to definitely say see it in theaters and get that full cinematic experience this holiday season.
Totally.
It was a very good slasher film. We've been saying that quite a bit throughout this. And now comes time for the question.
I always say comment, you always say question.
Yeah, so question and comment. You can ask the question this time.
What is your favorite Christmas-themed horror movie? Mine is Home Alone. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so weird.
What is yours?
Mine is 2019's Black Christmas. What about you?
Home Alone.
Oh my gosh.
Krampus from 2015.
You can never take him serious, guys. Okay, well, that's the end of of the video. And don't forget, you guys matter to us. And thank you so much for coming to see us on this awesome couch. And we will see you guys again the next time that we make a video.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
It's a metaphor for now.